Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Am I audible?
Hello.
Am I audible?
Good morning. Yes.
Yes.
Morning. Good morning.
Yes.
Today we have to bridge the gap between
My
installation and software.
hand,
Something which is purely done from the office and something which is purely done from the site. But up, I will ask a couple of questions how software can also help to streamline the installation process and all these kind of things, right?
Hi, Mario. Good morning.
Good morning.
You got my voice? Good.
So Chandrasekhar, good morning. Namaste. How are you?
Very good. So how about you?
Good. Good. Amit just joined.
I guess not.
Hi, Mario. Mario, can you please call me? There is some problem.
Who might you have to call?
Kapil.
Kapil, I'll do it.
Yeah, looking good. Looking good, everybody. Hi, Saurabh, Narinder Bhai, Jay Kinto, Jay Maharashtra. Hi, Mario. And Chandrasekhar. Where is Hi, Pratap?
I
I am waiting for
You're
1
also
second.
looking handsome in the weekend dress.
I just
With a
woke
new-
up.
And
I
with a
just
new
woke
name.
up.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Gentlemen, we are already live. Maybe I have made a mistake. Okay, the audience can already see us. No problem at all. We still have 15 minutes to go. Okay. I don't know. Couple will. Let's mute all our phones till we actually really take off. I don't know. I'll apologize if I was the crook. Okay. We have normally 15 minutes more time to go, but whatever is there, let's mute the phones and let's have a phone call so that we are making the final tuning one-to-one in 15 minutes. The entire audience is in. Okay, let's do it like this, guys. No?
Also, switch off your cameras.
Yes.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ವಿಂಡೋ ಮೇಕರ್ soft data soft JQ आपने तो डेटा मैं जर्मनी में नहीं मशीन में वापरी
नरेंद्र भाई आप अपने आप को म्यूट पे कर दीजिए प्लीज पैनल पे।
कर दिया हेलो
नहीं
Okay.
आपने नहीं किया, वो जस्ट म्यूट पे कर दीजिए।
हेलो या टेल मी
नहीं, यू हैव टू प्रेस द ग्रीन बटन नरेंद्र भाई, ग्रीन बटन को ग्रीन होना ब्लू रेड होना चाहिए। जस्ट हाँ, थैंक यू, हो गया। नरेंद्र भाई आप अपना कैमरा को भी ऑफ कर दीजिए, थैंक यू। Hi Veera, the panel has started. Just switch off your camera and mic for the next 10 minutes. Thank you very much. We will be opening soon. Thank you.
Okay. Mm. Hello.
May I request the panelists and the organizer to switch on their cameras and their microphones, please? Very welcome to Veera, Mario,
Hey, Amit.
Chandrasekhar, Pratap. So Pratap is from Gaurav's side, EVA.
Window maker
As of now, not. As of now, we are here with Window Maker.
Okay. So guys, today's as already Mario informed that we are already live, but we will officially start in 3 minutes. We want to follow a timeline to begin, and the sequence will be taken forward by Mario itself. So as we did it the previous time, I think Mario will be in a better position to advise and explain. The sequence would be, while we do the presentation, which you all have seen, the usi ke andar we'll do the Q&A, and I think I will assist you, Mario, wherever you need, because Narinder Bhai prefers to speak in both languages. Or Narinder Bhai, Kem Cho, we will prefer to apna Hindi English mix marenge karke. So
Yes, absolutely.
I think the questions will be more posted by Mario, because today the moderator of the session is Mario. So the window man, so happy to see.
Amit, you will help me then with the question which are coming from the audience that we are seeing there, what is coming, and that we are giving it to the relevant people only. We will be good.
Not a problem. So we are about reaching 100. As soon as the clock happens at 12, I'll do a small intro and then we take it forward. So everybody's feeling good today?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
Yes, feeling perfect.
Feeling perfect. And well, I think that we have to live with this current situation the way it is, and make, like I said last time, that we have to make this little COVID our little younger foster brother and get him out of the house soon. But we'll have to kind of live along and exist along. Is Mario Gaurav not there from EVA?
Amit sir, good morning. I am there. I think the webcam has reached a limit, which is why I'm not visible.
It has a 6 limit. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
When I'm introducing you, maybe then Mario or anybody can switch off their camera, then we can have Gaurav on the screen as well.
Yes, yes.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
I haven't seen you in a while, Gaurav. All is well?
I'm
Everything
switching
is
off my
fine, sir.
cam for Gaurav to see.
Yeah, thank you, Veera. Let Gaurav come. Gaurav, you are okay to come. Veera will switch off his camera for a bit.
Hello, sir. Thank you, Veera, sir.
Hey, no problem, Gaurav.
So Gaurav is working from his office.
Yes, sir. We have started operations with the minimum capacity of 30%.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good morning, actually rather just clicked afternoon to everybody here from the UPVC Window and Door Manufacturers Association for our session 4, talking about all that's white is not right. And I think today's thoda different session hai. It is about installation. It's about installation material and software, which is a very critical part. So I do believe that we will have a lot of window manufacturers today on our attendees list who will be listening in, and of course all the other people from the architectural developer community. My name is Amit Malhotra. I represent UDMA as the treasurer and marketing head, and I would also like to thank the team from WFM Media, Ahad, again Amit Malhotra and Kapil and the whole backend team to put this event together. We had about 400 registrations for this event. As you know, Indian Standard Time, IST, धीरे धीरे घड़ा भरता है, but we want to follow a timeline. And I will now pass the moderation and the organization to my great friend and the president of Woodma, who has now washed his t-shirt for the 101st time, because last time it was 100. It is brighter and better. Mario, over to you, my friend.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really happy today. Installation, one of the most crucial topic. First, let me once again introduce all our panelists, which is our close friend Veera, an asset of Woodma since so many years, taking care of the Tamil Nadu chapter. Veera, thank you for joining today. Mr. Narinder Patel, heading the Karnataka chapter and also with Woodma, I think since almost 10 years by now. I'm really happy also today for installation. We want to see what are your insights, what you can share about the topic. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Mr. Chandrasekhar, thank you so much for coming in from McCoy Sudal.
Thank you, Mario.
And then now, very, very important, when we talk about software, we have to see, Mr. Divedi, yes, from the supply chain, from TrueTex, Fasteners, thank you so much for joining us. Can we see you for a moment? I think at the moment you are not on the screen. Anchor is, of course, a key component for any strong fixing of the window. We can calculate everything theoretically, but when the window is installed and the main air pressure and the wind and storm comes, then it's the anchor who actually holds the window. Thank you so much for joining us. Then we have Mr. Gaurav from Eva Software, and we have my good friend Pratap from Window Maker. Today we have to bridge between completely on the desk in the office from the software to only at site. And there today, a part of whatever the software can do, we want to listen a lot from you guys, what actually you can do to streamline and to improve the installation process while utilizing and using the software in the right way. I would like to start with the first that we are going ahead with the software. And Mr. Pratap, you please come in with one slide and you please tell me what software can do and what software is made and where we are differentiating between a good software, people are still working on Excel, or people who are just doing the calculation manually. I would like to hand over, please share some thoughts. What are the USP on the softwares and why people actually deeply should use it?
Thank you, Mario. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for giving this opportunity. I think there is a word which is now used by organization now more than ever. So this is the same situation where now software is like now more than ever. Earlier there was less restrictions, so it was easier for anyone to move around with software. Now it becomes must for all the fabricators to have the software. I think it is more about software and the manual version or the Excel version. So the big advantage with software becomes like you don't even need to visit to customer site also now. The advantage is like you can have unlimited window design possibilities. In Excel, what happens like there is limited designs which you can see. You cannot make changes quickly. But with the software, you can make it very quickly. All the changes are quickly done and the prices and the costing gets updated automatically. So that becomes much easier for anyone to use it. Then on the part of integrated stock management, again, this is possible, very much possible in all the softwares. You can join with the stock control. So what happens like whenever you have any orders, you can immediately go into the software and you can get the idea what exactly is lying in your stock. You can easily analyze what is missing from the stock to complete the coming orders, which you can easily analyze and you can predict your purchases also. So that is the advantage with the stock management again.
Because one point when we are going with Excel or making it manual, there are of course always risk of mistakes, and risk of mistake is so huge.
Of course, this is the point which you were saying, that the accuracy increases with the software. That's the advantage. See, once you have input all the details, you are not dependent on individuals to check it and verify it. The software does it for you. You can even have the limitations of the systems. You can even define the limitations of the hardware so that not the wrong hardware and the wrong sections are selected for each Windows. So the software helps you instead of manually and someone is thinking on his mind and deciding things.
Okay, Mr. Gorov from EVA, can you take over for the next slide?
Definitely, sir. Thank you very much. So the next slide, as we can see, is profile optimization. So software is not only should be treated as a tool of convenience to save time, but also has a very important inbuilt feature of profile optimization that reduces wastage and saves money. It's not only profile optimization when we talk about taking fresh bars. Profile optimization coupled with integrated stock management can give you a better off-cut management scope, which at any factory level, the cut pieces are just accumulated over a period of time, which is either wasted or sold as a scrap. Profile optimization along with stock management can definitely reduce the overall wastage. I always say, sir, when we talk about a door window manufacturing business, it's not the profit percentage that will bring you revenues. It is the better utilization of your resources which will eventually lead to better margins and profit eventually. So that is profile optimization. If we move towards the next slide. Yeah, so there as of today, like, the softwares are not limited to generating quotation and production report. Today's softwares have capability to do production planning. When we say planning, for example, you might have converted a lot of quotes into order, but how to plan it further? Like, for example, there are various factors involved in scheduling and planning the production. A few factors could be: what is the time schedule in which what is the priority of project, the promised delivery of time to the end customer, that is one. What is the availability of stock to complete the current order, that is point two. Probably we can do a better utilization of our factory by understanding what is the capacities of our machines and what are the processes required, like how many cut processes, how many welding or routing processes are required to finish the current set of orders, and hence the plan the next 3 to 4 days in our factory. So better production planning can be done with respect to multiple factors. And when we talk about project management, again, software's usage, although software have features, but the usage has been limited to only generating quotation and probably generating BOM reports and generating production report. But when we talk about big projects which has multiple towers and which where the delivery is done in batches, so everything from order generation to site survey to measurement and then production planning to phase-wise installation management, and then giving proper tracking to the concerned builder or big project owner becomes crucial at this point of time, which softwares are capable of doing right now. And finally, I would want to point out a very important point: automation through machine integration. Again, I see a lot of fabricators might not have machining centers, but when we talk about cutting machines, a lot of companies like Murat or Foam or Thorveston or LGF, Sysmac, any machines today have capability to integrate with software to automate the cutting process. That is one. That apart, I see a lot of top fabricators who have invested a lot in machining center to generate big project work done immediately, but nevertheless, but they're not integrating it with softwares. So that capabilities have increased and it has become simpler, it has become cheaper for big manufacturers who have already invested in machining centers of Foam and Murat and Alumetech to take this further and integrate with software to make it simpler for integration.
Gaurav and Pradap, I'm going to come back to you because still I think in terms of installation, when we start this presentation now, think again. On the end, I come back what we actually can do to avoid all this, what you are going to see now in the next couple of slides. And for the installation, I would like to hand over for the moment for the first presenter to Vera. What is the slides that we are talking about a good window installation and a poor window installation, how the actual process starts, and with small tuning or again with small mistakes, we have big bad results or we have extreme good results. What to do and what not to do, and especially the why. Veera, I'll hand over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mario. I would. It's a great pleasure for being here, Mario. I think good installation, and I would like to just present the whole thing about the good installation is the first and the foremost thing. Most of us, we don't check on the perimeter of the opening or the correctness of the opening. So we need to be double sure before when we get into the windows. The measurements need to be taken in an order. We'll be coming through that slides, but definitely the best thing, the four sides of the cavity should be perfectly plastered with a coat of putty or a paint needs to be done, and the diagonal differences needs to be checked. It should be definitely less than 5 to 10 mm. And if there is any sill profile is there, if there is a sill has been added, all that needs to be checked perfectly. Supply of electricity is definitely needed. You need to arrange for a safe and secure electrical point. Safe and secure, no loose wires there, so that it ensures the safety of the installers. And then coming back is respective locations. Take a call with the engineer who has measured it or the installation team, and make him understand where the windows needs to be kept exactly, and the materials what he is going to plan for that day, so that all the materials are not transferred on one day and left it for 30 days. Just kept each and every window for 20 windows or 30 windows, what the installation team is going to do, place it in that way, and they can definitely do a better job. And then very importantly, if people are going to do the installation from outside, they need to take care of the scaffolding, and the safety belts need to be perfectly done, perfectly roped to the scaffolding. And then the final measurements of the windows are taken always. I think many of the companies do it in this way and not the other way around, which is shown on the right of the presentation. So take always 3 measurements, one from the bottom, top, and the center for the width. And similarly, right from height, you take it in 3 dimensions. If the opening size is more than 3 meters, then better to suggest 5. The height needs to be done even in 5 or 6 positions, so that you ensure there is no undulations in the civil or the plastering works. And always try to get the minimal measurements. That's very good for the production and the installation. And okay, as you know, the wall has an expansion and contraction feature. So always we need to have a gap in between the frame and the wall, a minimum of 5 millimeter. It's always better to have that gaps, and the gaps is called with the crevices, whatever the gaps are there, it's better. There is an expansion and contraction which happens with the temperature of the thing. So the frame doesn't really, the UPVC doesn't have the coefficient ratio, is very less, but definitely the walls expands and contracts a little bit. So take care of that gaps.
And very important to explain this. Very important to explain this to your customers. You are sending your windows, you have a 5 millimeter gap around, and the customer believes, oh my God, all your windows are too small. And then you say, no, there's a silicone coming. And then you say, no, 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 don't make any jugaad. Your windows are wrong in size. Very important to convey all these messages in the beginning, why it has to be and why the gap ideally has to be 5 millimeter, because of all these points, so that the customer understands and knows it in the beginning, and not just at the moment when your windows are delivered. And then it seems like that you have to justify and clarify yourself, and the customer may have a doubt that actually something has reached wrong to the site. Very important, make this point clear from the beginning.
Correct, thanks Mario. But one important thing, the whole process needs to be set, the stage needs to be set by the salesperson, the sales team. The sales team should also educate it with the process. When they explain the process of taking the measurements and everything, they should enhance this point, a line from the sales guy to the member already where the relationships created, because then it avoids the rift between the installation team and the supervisor and the customer. So the whole lot of it goes well when the sales team is going, presenting them with the process. They should tell them. It's always better to even mention it in the quote, mention it in the offer. There will be a gap in between, 5 to 7 mm gaps will be there for this point. So some of the quotes I've seen, some of the companies are also including this point. And then coming back, PPE. PPE is a famous word now with the COVID, but still now the personal protective equipments with the goggles, where perfectly. The helmet, the safety helmets, the mask, white mask, lot of dust. When we screw down the window, the erection holes are put, there's a lot of dust coming in. It is most important to take care of our installers who is going to be with us for a lifetime with this company. And the earplugs, so that he doesn't, he's hearing every other part of it before he starts his installation. So earplugs are very important. The gloves, the safety gloves, and the safety shoes. Also request him to make the place clean before he starts the works and after he finishes the works. That makes a sense of discipline inside the sites. So a lot of things can be experienced. The experience is what we need to give it really to this industry now. So please, all the companies, all these PPE kit is not going to cost more than 1,000 rupees or 1,200 rupees per installer, which is a no cost, and where we are going to insist him, and for next 6 months he is going to use this PPE kit. So I think next slide. So
I would like to hand over Mr. Patel.
Yes.
Can you take over
Patel.
from here, from Gravity, please? Narendra, can you unmute your mic, please?
Yeah, tell me, yeah. Yeah, please repeat the question.
Installation process. We have measured it. Now we are coming with the window to the site. Can you please explain what is the right process of doing it in the right way the moment my window is going to reach to the site?
Yeah, actually, installation is the very crucial part of our window industries, because almost people, they are producing good quality of windows, but if it is not installed in the proper manner, then there is no value of the window which is quality produced by any of the factory. So this is the always challenges for our window manufacturer. And nowadays we are discussing so many things with the builders as well as the customers, and we train our staff accordingly, because sometimes what happens, the size are very big, then it is very difficult to install the window in the proper plumb and the water level. At the time, these windows are not perform well. So we have to more careful about the cavities. When it's become ready, we have to check in proper manner. Otherwise, it will not going to install in proper way. So we have so many tools we are using for the water level and plumps. Nowadays, we are using that laser machines and all, because we are producing UPVC window as well as aluminum very high-end systems. So we cannot give any leverage into this to install the window. If it is any wrong, then it's very difficult. So we are doing so many measures of the installation of the windows. And sometimes what happens, if it is a very less margin for the silicone, and sometimes it is big margin. If it is, there is a big gap, then the customer is questioned so many, right, the question, why you have put this, because the people are paying so much of amount of the money for the window, and if it is gaps are more, then they are never accept. And there are so many fighting with us. So we are more and more about crucial about taking the measurement at a time of the measurement. If you are perfect, then almost your work will be done at a time of installation. So we are so many things we have to taken care, like every 150 mm we are putting one fasteners if the window size are bigger, and we are taking care about fastener size depends on the wall thickness as well as the size of the window. And sometimes if it is building is very high, means the high-rise building, then the wind load should be more. So we are using accordingly the number of fasteners, how much is the fix, and the size of the fasteners will decide based on the wall thickness. Sometimes we are using 80 mm, sometimes 100 mm, and sometimes 120 mm also. So this is the properly we have to taken care. Otherwise, window never perform.
Okay, fine. Let me run through the slide a little bit in detail. When your window comes to the site, when you are the consumer who is watching us now, when you are the technician or the supervisor or the architect, first take care that the team is checking that the right window reaches to the right opening. We have maybe 20 openings of similar sizes, half an inch difference. The first window may fix, second window may fix a little bit, and then on the end, we have a big mess. Same like now, deglazing. Please take care that you make all the glazing beads belonging to one window together. Even me coming inside, all the glazing beads, hundreds of glazing beads are lying in a corner, they will never match. And then on the end, you have to give a perfect, proper finish of all the glazing beads. That's why make it window-wise. Here we are explaining, make the proper alignment around, that it is first of all in level and in square, but at the same time, we have to take care that a gap between the wall and the window is definitely taken care of. And only once this alignment is done, you start screwing. After the screwing, of course, we have to put the fastener in. Before putting the fastener in, what was just shown, put a little bit silicone in so that it is absolutely watertight. You clean it, and then only you apply the silicone for the final one. Going to the next slide, I would like to hand over to Mr. Devedi from TruTex Fastener. Let's explain a little bit in detail. The fastener is the muscle of the window. What is the importance of the fastener? What we should take care, what we have to avoid. And in terms of any clarification that we are not sure whom to contact and what advices we are actually have to looking for. Mr. Devedi, please.
Yes, thank you, Mario sir, and good afternoon, everyone. Like in the first slide, Mario said that anchors are the muscles of the UPVC. It is rightly said. Just like in the last seminar, it was informed that the hardware are the hands and legs of the windows. Similarly, the reinforcement are the bones. But when the window is made, it has to be fixed and it has to be installed in a correct way, and it has to be installed so that the window is there for as long as the window is there. It should be fixed there. The life of the anchor should match the life of the window. So that is why it is the muscles which is holding the window together with the base material. So if we define what is anchor, so anchors are just small machines, maybe intelligent machines, through which and made of nylon, and they are used to fix the UPVC doors and windows to the surrounding walls, and also the frames, aluminum to the base material can be different type on site, just like it can be red bricks, it can be AAC block, or it can be concrete. So the factors to calculate how many fasteners do we need for a particular site. So it all depends. It depends on the type of base material that we have. Also, it depends on the wind load, the size of the window, and also the capability of the fastener. So if we calculate all these things together, and with the experience of the installation team and the manufacturer of the window, we can find out how many numbers of fasteners have to be used in that particular window. So before fixing the window, we should see that the difference, the distance between the fastener should be minimum 150 mm from the inner corner, not the outer corner, because we have to take the expansion and contraction of the window as well as the base material into consideration. And also the maximum distance between two fasteners should, in UPVC windows especially, it should not be more than 700 mm. Now, in order to fix the window, we have to identify the pressure points and the pressure. So to compensate the pressure which will be created after the window is installed, we have to use the wedges below the frames, corner frames, and on the top also. And the pressure which is being created by the window, so that pressure has to be shifted inside the wall with the help of anchors. So first you fix the wedges, and then you have to fit those wedges with the help of the fasteners, so that the load is transferred in a planned way into the base material safely. Next slide, please. So as you can see, the frame positioning is also very important in installation. So it is not, we have to see where we are positioning the window frame. As you can see on the left side, the frames are correctly placed just above the base material. The red area below the frame, which we can see, the anchors is going in the red area. So that is the base material. And on the right side, which has a cross on it, you can see that the anchors are going inside the plaster area. So it will not give enough strength to the window, and it is a wrong practice to install a window because the anchors, if they are installed in the wrong area, then they will not give full strength. So how do we identify what is a good anchor and what is poor quality anchor? So firstly, from the inspection, we can see that if, for example, if we are using 8x100 size anchor, then the length of the screw should be always be more than the size of the sleeve, almost 5 mm more. And this is because when we install the screw inside the hole, then the anchor should expand fully. And if the screw is of lesser size than the sleeve, then there are chances that the expansion forces created by the fasteners might not be as per the recommendation. Also, in case the fastener, the screw has to be it has to be designed in such a way that if during the installation we are realigning the window and we find some fault during the installation, then we can just reverse the machine and we can just take out the screw and then reposition the window frame and then again fit the window without. Otherwise, if the screw does not support this function, then we have to cut the fastener. Or sometimes there might be a situation that the sash or the outer surface of the window is a little bit scratched or damaged. So if we are selecting a right combination of a screw and sleeve, then it is a perfect way to install the window. Also, the grade of the sleeve, nylon sleeve, should be of really high quality, because if after there, as everybody knows, that there are expansion and contraction in the surrounding walls of the building. So where the window is installed, and if there are expansion and contraction in the wall, then the sleeve will should not break under pressure. It should have that kind of flexibility in it. Otherwise, if it simply breaks, then the plastic will break, and the screw will it will become loose, and the window might become loose. So these are few things that define between good fastener and bad fastener. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the moment. One point as a fabricator, installer, and architect perspective, I would like to go in this slide. It is very easy for us to say it has to be in the center of the wall. But here we are always fighting about aesthetics versus technical point. And when the architect want to have it flush to the wall outside, then for us as the fabricator, we can simply deny it, or we'll make a proper engineering and think about it. We can change the position of the fastener within the window a little bit, right? Or we can think if we are using the iron angle or whatever, because in the same time, we have to fulfill the need of the building, and we don't have to compromise on the way of the execution, because confirmed when the fastener is only going inside the plaster and it's not going inside the brick. We have nice videos, bad videos actually, which we were supposed to share, which we couldn't do, unfortunately, that during the real storms, the entire window with the fastener is just blowing out of your opening. And that's for the reason, wrong fastener, or the fastener just fixed in the plaster and not in the window, in the wall. Very, very crucial point. But there it's your expertise, or come back to Utmar and we are going to give you more suggestion what we can do for these kind of crucial points. Also, this slide, it is not just an idea of Utmar, it is in our guideline. It's the same process companies are following across the world with the distancing from the fastener to the wall. It is there in our fabrication guideline as well as now very well explained in our installation guideline. This is a very sensitive topic. During hardware, we said the hardware is as good as the screw which is getting fixed, and when the screw is an MS screw, the entire hardware is going to rust. And same in this case, the moment the fastener is done in the wrong way, the entire window has no performance. So now for sealants, I would like to hand over to Mr. Chandrasekhar from McCoy, please.
Thank you, Mario. Good afternoon, everybody. I come to this subject of sealant, which actually comes at the last point of finishing a window. The sealer is basically something which creates a barrier between the window profile and the wall. It actually does the connect between the window and the wall. Now, there are two types of silicons here. One would be an exterior and one would be an interior. The exterior is a weather silicon with a greater movement capability and good UV resistance. And the interior is an acrylic-based, water-based adhesive, which has a lower sort of movement capability and is paintable. Why we put paintable acrylic inside? Because the client would want different colors and they wouldn't want a white line across the window. So they put acrylic which accepts any kind of paint. Now, usually what happens in any of the sites is basically once the cavity is given, the problem, the perennial problem that is there is the gaps. You could be probably have no gaps, very minimal gaps. You could have 5 mm gaps, 10, 20, probably you have 5 mm down and you have 20 mm on top. So the undulations are so much. So how do you take care of this? Number one, the process of actually applying the silicone is clean the surface clean. It has to be dust free. You have to use a blower or a brush to clean the surface. Otherwise, you are actually going to put the silicone on the dust and it's going to debond end of the day. Number one, cleaning is the most important subject in the first place. Secondly, put back a rod because you need something to back up the silicone. You need something to support your silicone. So once you are putting the backer rod, if you have a 5 mm gap, please put a 6 mm backer rod so that it fits tightly inside. But if you have lesser than 5 mm, my advice would be if you need to fill that gap, just take some pieces of thermocol and put it inside so that there is some material to back it up. If you have gaps more than 10 mm, maybe 20, more than 20 to 30 mm, the only thing that can come to your help is the foam, which can help you out in filling those gaps. My advice would be when you're actually getting the project awarded or when your site team is going and inspecting the site, you know that when you're taking the measurement, there are lots of undulations that's going to come up. The problem would be to give them the civil guys some kind of a template so that they give you a perfect kind of a finish wherever the undulations are more, so that you get the perfect cavity of what you want. So giving a template at that point is very important. Now coming, why a foam is being used? If it's a 10 mm gap, I would advise a foam to be filled inside, because foam is something which expands itself. You extrude into the cavity, it expands laterally both the sides. And foam is not only a gap filler, it is also an adhesive. It is actually, after you put the backer rods or after you put the fasteners, what happens is basically the fastener is a foreign body into the wall, and you have lot of vibrations that happens on the window. It could be ground vibrations, it could be wind load. Now what happens, that load is transferred on the anchor fasteners. You have the dead load of the window also that supports. So the foam in between actually supports that weight, actually supports those vibrations. It absorbs all those kinds of vibrations and shocks, and then ultimately you don't find cracks wherever the the anchor fasteners are put. You don't find later on hairline cracks coming. That is totally avoided because of the foam. That's why we advise foam a minimum of 10 mm gap around the periphery of the window so that it spreads. And of course, by doing all the sealing work, exterior and interior, you are totally completing the package of a window, which is, end of the day, a totally insulated window. Could be a thermal insulation, could be an acoustic insulation. Both the insulation is taken care of, and of course you keep the weather out. So these are the main features of silicon sealant and how they should be applied. Number one, what other things we have noticed at the site basically is while applying sealant, usually the nozzles are not cut to the proper size as per the gap. They use a larger nozzle size, and then they extrude the sealant into the gap, and they use the packer or the wedge to tool. Now what is happening is, number one, you put excess of silicon on top in the gap, and you're using a packer which has got a 90-degree angle. Good, that is what the client wants. But then end of the day, you are actually scrapping off the silicon totally away from that area. What remains in the gap is a few mm of silicon, which is not good enough, because the silicon also undergoes some kind of a shrinkage when it totally cures 100%. So once the shrinkage happens, you have not given enough margins there, so you could find small gaps wherever the connection has not happened. The other thing is, when they put the silicon, they usually put the silicon from the butt of the window frame. It starts from there. The thing is, if the silicon has an overlap over the window a little bit, I think there is a gap of 3 mm after the security sticker. So if the silicon could overlap on those areas, you have a better expansion of the silicon, and it gives you a better sort of property that a silicon needs to give. This is what I would want about the silicon. And of course, I've explained about the PU foam, very important. Any undulations that you have about 20-30 mm, you could fill with that with the foam. But end of the day, while handing over the project to the customer or to the client, every time, you know, the PMC is going to object that this is not done well. Your windows are bad, your ceiling is bad. So it all goes, end of the day, your job goes to a waste. So best is, ask the civil guys to plaster that area where the undulations are more, maybe with a white cement, because they are much harder and they absorb and they become hard. So reduce those undulation areas and then do your work. And you could finish these undulated areas in the last, where you can finish the other works, but these areas needs to be perfectly finished. And of course, the masking tapes are very important while doing. So you have to put the masking tape, tool it, and tool it with a soapy solution. Don't spray the soapy solution on the frame, because it's going to spoil your frame as well. Put it on your finger and tool it very lightly. Don't put too much pressure. Tool it very lightly so that you get a silky finish once you're completing the tooling effect. This is how a silicon is done. Then I hand over to you, Mario.
Thank you so much. Very good details, really perfect. Yes, we make the silicon. After 3 months, we hand over. After 1 month, we hand over. Oh, it looks so dirty. Please make the silicon again. Then you have to remove the entire. It just spoils time and money. And of course, what is not perfect in the initial way, when you are doing it again and again, it will not be better. And this is something what we definitely have to avoid, that your windows are going to look like this. It is very shocking, because we have the best product, we have the best technologies, we are installing it right, but all the time it is clear we can't be better than the site. And the moment we have this kind of a situation, then of course we have to ask what we did actually wrong. Important is, and in this way I will keep it now with a question back to Pratap. How can we make our site supervisor to our site accountant? In what way software can really support us in creating sheets? What can we do, Pratap, that a site supervisor is encouraged with production papers or site papers, invoicing? What can we do to encourage our site team to become more accurate, having seen all this picture, and what way software can support us? Pratap, you please have some words on this forth, please.
Sure, Mario. Thank you for the question. Earlier, I didn't answer that question because it was not matching with the PPT content. So I was going through the PPT content. So on this point, I think there are 3 ways in which we can help. Like, first thing is about taking measurement. So using an app, now directly the measurements can be taken, and that measurement can go directly into the software, taking care of the deductions. So it will take care of the mistakes. So it will avoid all those mistakes. First thing is this. The second thing is delivery material list can be printed directly from the software. So again, this thing will avoid wrong material as well as less material or over material on the site, which can be a big issue. And the third thing is when you finish the windows, you can have finished window labels on the windows. Along with that, you can send the design summary. So it becomes easier to identify a correct window for a correct hole, because there can be situation when window sizes are marginal different. So with the correct measurement, with correct material, and with this correct identification, I think these three things in which software can help.
Mr. Gorov, from EVA, what can we do? Decide timelines, countersign it. What kind of a project management we can utilize from the software, giving it in advance to the customer that we can actually explain, sir, we are ready 3 weeks in a delay, not from our side. Your project is going in a delay. What software can help us to give these kind of information upfront, and at the same time also to monitor the information that my team went to the site, and are there login buttons or whatever that we can actually say, okay, we went now at the 6th time without finishing our work because still this scaffolding is blocking the opening. What can software or what type of tools are there that we can actually easier on a level of a technician with a small app? What options do we have, can we decide to make it more transparent to protect our industry from wasting just money because of wrong execution wherever?
Okay, thank you for the question, Mario sir. I would want to expand the view of this question. I'll not limit it from an installation point of view. Nowadays, as mentioned earlier, the software is not limited to a desktop version of a software where you need to enter information or retrieve information only from your computers, from your office. Many softwares have come with apps, they have come up with online solutions where right from the customer relationship management till when we talk about project management, so first you can do the geotagging of the project, so that starts with the first timestamp when we are talking about understanding the entire history of the project. So today softwares are capable to record when was the first call that you received from the customer, when was when was the site measurement taken from the site, when was the order taken into account, through barcode integration, what can be done is, let's say with every profile which you are cutting, you can put a barcode sticker into it, and through scanners available at various levels, you can monitor the complete progress of the project at the plant level and at the installation level, that how many profiles have been cut, as in from a project point of view. For this project, how many cuts have been done, how many weldings have been done, how many dispatch have been done, whether the material has been reached the site or not. So first thing to first visualize the data, first we need to enter data. And when we are talking about entering, there are various platforms right from online to barcode scanners that can enter data at every single point, which can be visualized, analyzed at different point of time. Now, when we come to making sure that the site is, if we talk more about analytics, so what can further be done is, here when we are talking about survey, now survey is also divided into sales survey, and we have once the order is finalized, a lot of production survey can be done at a altogether different level, at a altogether different detailing. Nowadays, we are only dependent on the installer to write from his experience that what needs to be taken into account. But factors changes from window to window. If we have proposed a sliding window at a particular place, then, or a casement door, then factors are different to be considered while installation. So to be specific, when we talk about project management, we can record data at every step. We can if we are able to record data through scanners, through barcode integration, through online solutions, then we can use that data to predict. Suppose the next time an order comes, we can understand in this order you require 50 cuts and 40 welds and 30 routing. When we know the operations involved to complete an order, when we have the historical data of your factory, that an average capacity of cut and weld and routing is how much, And when you can understand what are the ongoing project and when this project would start, you can from day one give a tentative timeline of when this project would be handed over based on your historical data clubbed with your current mechanism of fetching real-time data.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Next question I would like to give to Mr. Chandrasekhar and Mr. Dwivedi. Big point. What can we do to store our valuable material like silicon handles or even fasteners at site so that they are not getting lost, stolen, misused, or whatever? When we know the cost of a silicon bottle or a cost of a PU form bottle is really quite expensive. Please share some thoughts and ideas. What can we do to protect these valuable material at site? Because what I had written in point number 2, be aware for each mistake, the fabricator is definitely going to pay from its own pocket. What can we do to make some kind of an arrangement? Is there a tracking system, or what can be done that those material is not getting misused or lost from the site? Mr. Chandrasekhar, please.
So basically, we have a thumb rule for a silicon when you do an application. It's 1 cartridge per window per side. That means to say that you in a window you require 2 cartridge for one for the exterior and 1 for the interior. Okay, so when you are giving a certain job for the installer or a silicon applicator, so if he's going to do about 10 window frames, and that is a quantity of the silicon that you need to give him, and the empty cartridges needs to be back into your storeroom to just to have an account part that yes, he has completed and used it properly. Yes, one other thing is basically due to the what I had discussed earlier, there could be an annulation of excess of silicon being put. You could avoid if he's doing the right kind of application and cutting the nozzle rightly, so then he's right on the track. But if he's going to use too much of silicon, obviously probably you're going to end up using maybe another 5 or 6 more cartridges. Okay, you can keep that as a bay plus or minus 5 or 6%, but that is per applicator and account for so many windows. He gets back and then takes the next lot. This is how you need to account for a silicon. The other thing is, okay, we also come across certain other things like the silicons are taken out and sold. We have come across these as well. So my suggestion would be there are material that is available not in cartridges but in sausages. So if you have a sausages in the same quantity of 300 ml or 400 ml, which is costing lesser than the silicon, probably 1 or 2 rupees here and there, but you cannot sell a sausage because there's nobody outside who could buy a sausage in the market. No other guy, you can't sell it out at all. So I would suggest that 2 things, that is, have an account of the number of quantity that you're giving to each applicator so that he brings back the empty cartridges, and then you keep an account for that guy. Second is convert it into a sausage, and then you see that your product is safe there. That's it.
Mr. Dwivedi, from your side to add on?
Yes, from my side, I think in terms of fasteners, generally the fastener companies, they give fasteners in small packings, let's say 100 pieces boxes, and it is already pre-decided by the factory and by the calculations that how many fasteners are to be used at that particular site, and plus minus 5-7 fasteners, it should not be a problem. But after all the, as told by Mr. Chandrasekhar, after the installation is done, then it can the remaining fasteners, they can be again be counted back. So this is a very simple way of keeping a track, because all these small things, they make up a big cost for all the fabrication companies. And maybe you can just not give a full carton of 1,000 piece for the site, maybe 100 piece or 50 piece. So that can be done, I think. And also for the spacers and packers, I forgot to mention in that side that the quality of spacers and packers is also very important. They should be resistant to compression, because when the pressure point is there, and also it should be thermal insulated. And so depending, we can calculate everything. how many fasteners are going to be used, and also, the repacker. So this is how I think it can be done.
Okay.
And it's a
Thank you so
general
much.
preference. Yes.
Before I give the last question to Vera and to Mr. Patel, I would like to thank, of course, our patrons Shobhita and Ankit. Since years, we was trying to make an installation guideline, and Shobhita, thank you really so much. Now with all these animated slides seen today morning and yesterday for the first time, I think our installation guideline is better than any book we could ever make. Thank you really so much for this. And I would like to hand over the last question. How we can make it clear what is provided in our scope and what has to be provided by the customer: scaffolding, power, shifting, and storage, whatever. Mr. Patel, kindly you please start, and then Vera, you please add your thoughts, because these are the points where the communication gaps are occurring, which are again on the end are leading some kind of a miscommunication, and miscommunication is always very nice. On the end, it spoils everything, and a project which could take off or which could have been completed nicely is getting to be in a situation where unnecessary arguments are getting exchanged. Mr. Patel, please share your thoughts how to make it crystal clear what is into which scope.
Yeah, I'm not getting the earlier part of your question. Please repeat.
I would like to
Hello?
know for you as a window fabricator with more than 10 years or 12 years being in the industry by now, with your experience, how can we make it clear whatever is in the scope of the manufacturer and installer, and what should be provided by the customer? Like scaffolding is always in debate. So sometimes at larger project, electricity is in debate. So now unloading sometimes or shifting certain kind of things, or when to come at night, unloading not at night. What is your opinion, and from your experience, how can we make it crystal clear that there should be a complete, unique understanding between the buyer and the manufacturer who has to provide what, so that in the midway we are not stopping because of discussion on the point?
Yeah. This is a good question. Actually, this is always issue between the client and the supplier, because whenever you supply the window to the sites, normally always clients say you have to send your own labor to unload on the sites, as well as in the project also, because whenever we have taken the projects in the different city from your own production city, that is also a always question. So builders and client always keep away his hand to take any responsibility for the labor part of it. So that is always our duty and our tension to how to provide it, because when you are sending your trucks to the sites, it is in afternoon, then this truck will come back at the night. So there is a factory will close, and there is a lot of issue will rise at the time. And majority in this case, this is the labor oriented issue, which is we are discussing today, the installation. So more or less, whenever our labor is became more responsible and answerable, it is the right answer of this. But still there is no maturity level in our labor up to that extent, which is always very difficult for all our production unit people. But anyhow, we are managing. We are trying to give more and more education about this work, and we are pressurizing them to the answerable for us. And the issue nowadays in this COVID-19 situation, how can we manage our all installation team on site, and how can we protect it? That is also one of the questions today raised, and we have to discuss those issues, because many number of people in India, they are our team, which is contractor team, our own teams, they are on site, and if we are not take care about this COVID situation for them, then it is very difficult to protect them, because in site situation we know very well it is a very unhygienic, and those people are living in the very small room, more number of people. So we have to give some more guidance and more education about how to protect them from this COVID situation. So that is also one of the issue we have to today discuss, but unfortunately it will not come into the picture.
Vera, can you please add your thoughts? I think you are more in retail, how you are managing the problem that there is no clash between the understandings.
Most of the times the clash is the timeline which with the salesperson or the coordination doesn't happen between the customer and the installation team. So there is no proper, probably the smaller companies, they don't tell them this is the time my installation team will come, this is the time, this is the prerequisite we require. So most of the times it is the duty of the salesman or the person who is handling the sales, the coordination needs to be very correct, very precise now to the customers, because now we are going to have the challenge of orders are going to be through digital medium. Earlier days, my engineer, my supervisor will go take the measurements, take a signature. But now it's going to be more of a digital version which is going to happen, and where we will be receiving the orders through digital, and more we need to have people to coordinate with the customers, tell them this is what, explain them and make them understand. Probably like Ranit Bhai was telling, we need to do more of an education sessions. This can be a good idea. We can have 10 or 15 retail customers, join them in a webinar like this, make them understand, because we are definitely going to take a 7 or 10 day delivery time for the windows to be delivered. Before that, join hands, make them an education slot, give them all the points, prerequisites, what is required, what is going to be happen, and what we are going to do. So why, what, and when. It's definitely going to make a big change in this market, and we need to gear up for any kind of situation, and we are all together always, where all the fabricators will accept this and take it as a learning pattern and do this to grow this industry well, because installation is one thing which we need to now focus, because now I think most of the people have started using the factory to manufacture the windows. Unlike the earlier situations, we had site manufacturing, and all this has been now cleaned, and we have come to a position where there are 1,000+ fabricators are there in country. Now the time is to set up a real institute for the installation also, so that people are taught right from the dressing, discipline, and to the basics of the installation, so that they carry out a fantastic job, because the next 5 years, whatever we are going to focus is going to be the 50 years of this industry.
Thank you, Vera. Thank you so much. And there we have reached the end of the presentation. I would like to hand over to Amit. Can you please start the question and answer session? Thank you so much to all the panelists. I think there was a lot of insights, and I hope a significant of questions also came. Amit, are you hearable? Can you please take over from here?
Yes, very much here, Mario. I think there are some questions which have come in the panel, but I think the aspect of most of the questions have already been answered through the course of our presentations, and there are some smaller issues about installation, not good installation, but I think those will be sent one-to-one directly to the panelists and the presenters. Let's say there's one question for software. I'll put it to Gaurav and his colleague. Are such softwares with complete integration as explained available off the market, or should we develop them? Can you please share some software companies who can help us with end-to-end integration?
Sir,
Pratap and Gaurav can answer whoever.
From an EVA point of view, sir, yes, those solutions are already available. From end to end, when I say end to end, it covers right from the first call in the call center. That is like if I'm supposed to expand on this, so we have solutions starting from calls being picked up, the CRM management tool, then there is site management, then the software has the capability to generate quotations from mobile phone, which is a need of our for sales executives and dealers. Then you can do order tracking from your mobile phone. You can do quality check management. Earlier, quality check management was done through pen and paper, where it was bundled up in files but never analyzed properly. So quality check management can be done through mobile phone. Survey can be done through mobile phone. dispatch and its receiving at the end of the customer can be done through a mobile phone or tablet on site. Your complete installation management can be done through a mobile phone. Your after sales services even can be done through a mobile phone. Let me give you an example on that. Imagine, let's say you have delivered the windows and everything is done. A client can probably call if they have some complaint, they can probably take out your bill, they can scan the QR code in that bill, and probably all the windows which has been fitted into the site would be visible in their mobile phone. And once they select those windows, basic survey question would come, whether the glass has been broken, whether there is water seepage, whether the rollers are working or not. And once they click on done, automatically to the customer sales service department of the fabricator, they get all the detail right from who was the customer, what was the order number, who was the sales executive, who was the installer, what is the site geotagged location, what is the
Gaurav,
problem they are raising. Yeah.
Gaurav, I'll try to intervene here and I'll be very, very honest with you. Okay, India may,
Yes, sir.
if you
Ji.
want your sales guys and installations guys to do so many things, they will probably leave the job and become a sabji wala because he makes more money today. I am being honest with you as the head of McCoy. I am also a very tech guy. I've got CRM, ECRM, ERPs for the longest time. And
Right, sir.
Chandrasekhar, who works in one of my teams, is here as well. It's always a challenge to put your sales team and installation team to key. They're so, I don't want to use the word lazy, but they are so happy in their own cajoled world, and you are using such, stuff. Okay, I know the product, and matlab, important here, let's got to be practical, okay, in the real world, every software, I remember using Salesforce for a couple of years. It was brilliant. It was expensive. It had 50,000 features. We needed only 10. 49,990 features we didn't need. So in the real sense of practicality, matlab, what is, maybe Pratap, maybe you can give another viewpoint on software. Practical mein, what all can be used in today's scenario? The way, just Narendra Bhai said, our labor is so lost. It is lost. It is the way it is. So is sab cheezon ko, how do we manage to make sure that we can do a better job? Sorry, Gaurav, to interrupt, but I'm being more realistic here.
Oh, so definitely, but I would want to also add a point here. The question was in the lines of what can be done.
End-to-end
So
solution.
I completely agree that not everyone can do that. But since we have a good number of clientele, so the point is there is definitely a top national level players who require this solution, which work in a decentralized manner with multiple location, multiple offices. So if not everyone, a solution is present to be used by people who want to. That is number one. And number two, when we talk about 15 modules, it's not necessary for everyone to use everything. Something when we talk about the post-COVID area, we are talking about installations being done on pen and paper. Now installation team is a completely on-site team, and you have a factory administrative staff and production guys. In the post-COVID area, you wouldn't want papers to be exchanged between them. So even if we are not talking about 15 modules of CRM management and all, we can definitely use some part of it. Like the dealers now, when we talk about the problem statement, the dealer really require a software solution to generate quotation themselves. They are highly dependent on the fabricator. So one is that solution they can use. The installers or the surveyors can use a solution which avoids paper and
Gaurav, I will take a pause on your further comment with the point of view that if Swiggy and Zomato के जो अनपढ़ लोग ये software और buttons press कर सकते हैं, so I think the need of the hour is for the industry to force involuntary, not voluntary, जबरदस्ती to force our people के बिना software के कोई काम नहीं होगा, which will help your sales grow. But that's not the intent of this seminar or webinar. But idea is automation and technology is the future in terms of arriving. और उसके बाद जो installation वाला part है, that is even more critical. But awareness, like we have been saying throughout the last 4 UDMA sessions, awareness is very important. People have to take their job seriously. और जितना however more efficiently you will do your job, उतना ही आप profit कमा सकते हो. And you can also improve your with limited workforce. Suppose, for example, a fabricator was making 100 windows a day, hypothetically, with 30% labor, you still have orders to make 70-80 windows per day. So uske liye you have to improve on every aspect. And I think installation and software completely ready. You go put the window, put the foam, put the sealant, put the backer rod, put the anchors. End of story, job done. So efficiency will only come from the brain. And that is what the job at Udma is. Pratap, you wanted to add something. I've been seeing you
Yes,
working.
yes. Amit, thank you for the opportunity. I think Gaurav have mentioned so many points. The beauty of the software is you can do anything you want in the software. So
If
if
you
someone
want.
is developing from years, then of course the possibilities are there. But again, the Pareto's principle will come in the picture, where 80% of the population will be using 20% of the features, and 20% of the population will be using 80% of the features. So that situation is going to remain as long as looking at the COVID situation. I think, of course, the main point becomes like how we can remove the connectivity with customers, how we are going away from the customers. So in this case, like there is the app facility where customers can take the measurement themselves and can send it to the salesperson. So the salesperson visit is avoided. So that is one of the additional, and there are so many other possibilities which can be considered. So I think in software world, when you start discussing, there is no limit, and we can go on and we can have a long discussion on this.
No, I think that with COVID, there are plenty of plus points. Of course, the negative points are also plenty, but you know, hum log ko sabko, we have to be positive optimists. Nothing will stop, nothing will come to an end. And I don't know why, as soon as koi announcement hoti hai, Modi announced 20,000 crore, us raat se leke agle 3 din tak there is controversies and discussions on something which is not even announced. I don't know why people don't really want to use their time rather than waste their time. And people are sending, we got nothing. Arey Baba, let them announce it properly first. What is coming out of it? What is not coming out of it? Then take a call and then go for a debate. But in people who don't have much to do are really spending a lot more time on debate and really wrecking their brain. Similarly, by using good stuff, you save money. This is my feeling, and I think Narinder Bhai and Veera will agree that by using better products, you get better time and manage better time. Yes, Narinder Bhai.
Yeah, actually, we have to organize one more webinar on the what benefit we are getting as a MSME from the government. So all our people will come to know how can they get the benefit.
Well, on a personal note, I'm on the job with my team at Ernst & Young to see what we can derive for the MSME, and I'm first waiting कि निर्मला आंटी सबको बता दे कि क्या मिल रहा है, उसको let the consulting people tell us कि क्या उसमें options available है. Then is the better time to be able to want to check it out. But that's one of the things. So I wanted to put 2-3 points. Shekhar or anybody can switch off your camera. I want to come on the camera if you don't mind. From the today I'm more on the sporty side of the story. The objective of Udma going forward, I want to be specific to everybody about it. We have done the 4th webinar today, and this webinar was about installation. Now there are 2 parts to Udma's story that I want to tell you what we're going to be doing. One side of the story is we will be talking to the entire architectural, building, consulting, developing community. We are creating the first ever tender specifications that we would be requesting the architects and the developers to incorporate as per Udma guidelines in their specifications. It has been a dream for us to be able to go to that road. Now, again, I would say thanks to COVID or whatever, we can go to that road. So on one side, we're going to be working on doing webinars, not a lot. Abhi pak gaye hain webinar se. Me for one is totally gone, but Mario is for sure. But we want to, on one side, over the next 6 months to 1 year, do regional webinars. Narinder Bhai, Veera, South separately, West separately, North separately, East separately, because each market is a little different. So with the Udma team and with all of you, we are working with the specifications, which we already have done in the past. Specifications and price points. Okay, to get this kind of quality, you need to have these ingredients, raw materials, products, hardware, blah, blah, blah. On one side, Udma will take the next 1 year into that story. On the other side, the benefit for a UPVC window and door manufacturer to join Udma would be to get empaneled as an approved Udma certified fabricator on our Udma manufacturers panel, which basically means that we have contracted with IFT Rosenheim, a German company, and TUV to certify that the products, the factory, the labor, the premise that you have as a manufacturer is certified and okay. So while this will not happen tomorrow, because आज हम कुछ tender spec करेंगे, that will come after 1 year or maybe even more. So the preparation for the future and the real role of UDMA is going to be incorporating the right specifications, and at the other end to get the right manufacturers. All of you are right, nobody is wrong, but to incorporate the manufacturers in the field so that the whole, at end of the day, somebody does a bad job and somebody saves money to get a bad job done. We want to, as an association, to try to stop people attempting to do bad jobs, neither accepting a bad job, neither doing a bad job, and nobody does a bad job intentionally. ये हमारी इस इंडिया में बोलते हैं ना, मजबूरी ने मुझे मार डाला, मैं मजबूर था, मैं क्या करता. I'm sure नरेंद्र भाई मेरी बात समझ रहे होंगे. So having said that, I think first of all I want to thank the audience, the attendees who've come, our wonderful panelists who have come today. और ये मिशन आज शुरू हुआ है और कहानी अभी खत्म नहीं हुई दोस्तों, ये अभी सिर्फ एक शुरुआत है, एंड आप सबकी पार्टिसिपेशन और चाहिए होगी. So Mario, Shobita, Ankit will reach out, and our team will reach out to make the right spec over the next couple of months. Hopefully from July we'll start approaching the architectural community, and through this medium of video conferencing only, because half an hour of a session with the architects, builders, developers, we have them already on our database. I'm grateful to WFM Media to have organized this, and they have the complete database with them to reach out to any audience in this country, especially in the architectural community. So this one mission is continuous, and the other mission will be to audit and certify fabrication companies. We are doing a special package for our so whoever is going to be an UDMA member will enjoy a very special price from IFT or TUV for doing the audit. Those who independently approach this will be about 4 times higher. So hypothetically, if through UDMA you would get to pay 50-75,000, on your own you'll have to pay about 4 to 5 lakhs. So a lot of times people ask, what's the benefit of joining UDMA? क्या मिलता है, क्या मिलता है? ये मिलेगा जी, ये आपको मिलेगा. That is the only benefit that we can give. पैसा बचाएंगे जी आपका, सीधी सी बात है. And in the future, जो certified होगा वही अच्छे काम करेगा, and it is only fair. It is only fair that the guy who's actually meaning to do a good job should do the job that is following a certain standard. Because of some people who have compromised, the industry gets a bad name. And with 1,000 manufacturers in the window and door industry, to get a bad name, it's like COVID, man. So we have to avoid. So as an association, our responsibility is to make sure that we try our best. सब तो नहीं सुनते ना, तो राहुल गांधी और सोनिया गांधी रहेंगे ना, तो उसका तो कुछ नहीं कर सकते. That is what it is. This is the story of our life. So with that, let's do the right thing, and UDMA shall be back with certain more, of course, as Narendra Bhai suggested about the MSME benefits. I hope we have something. I hope, sincerely. Fine print पढ़ना पड़ेगा, नीचे लिखा होगा clause number 23 not applicable to this. So we have to be very careful before we saying. So with that, thank you all panelists for joining today. Thank you all of you for your time, and please, just consciousness is very important. गलत काम और सही काम यहीं से होता है, इसको कंट्रोल में, संयम में रखने का है. And once again, thanks all attendees. I will switch off the webinar now, and we shall be in touch with you soon. Mario, thank you very much once again for hosting.
Thank you so much.
And,
Thank you. Thank you, Mario.
UDMA is coming back. Okay, UDMA is coming back. So don't think we are gone anywhere. So we are in action, and it's going to be continuous.
We are becoming more stronger and stronger. Thank you so much, Amit, and thanks Anandra Bhai. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, attendees.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.